You're listening to the Arts Report on YouTube. It started with Stumbled Upon Two Smutty Novels, and now it's a monthly showcase of literature that is so bad, it's good. Vocabulary and passages so bizarre, they make you exclaim, "Say what?" The Vancouver Poetry Festival is coming, and one featured event is called, yes, Say What? No, sorry, Say What? Readings of Deliciously Rotten Writing, hosted by Sara Bynoe. Sara is no stranger to the public celebration of bad writing. She also does a show called Teen Angst, where adults go on stage and read their old diaries and essays from when they were teenagers. Preferably stuff that's as cringeworthy and embarrassing as possible. Say What focuses on published work, getting actors, slam poets, even burlesque dancers to read badly written prose with gusto in front of an audience. Sara's bringing a best of compilation to the Poetry Festival, and we talked about why she's so fascinated with bad writing. But first, what goes into finding readers for this kind of material?
Well, number one, funny. They have to be comedically minded people.
But you don't only have comedians, you have like burlesque dancers.
Yes, sometimes, yes. They have been on. People that are, interesting personalities, people that do read or appreciate terrible reading. Anyone that is just engaging and charismatic. I'm sort of open to any sort of comedic performer. Mostly, though, improvisers have been very successful. Comics have been funny. But, sometimes comics can't work with other material. Like, they have their own jokes.
Right.
So you have to be able to look at a book and see the awful humor within it, and sometimes just let the book speak for itself.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of speaking for itself, how do you pronounce the name of this event?
The show is called Say What?
I thought so.
That's right. Readings of Deliciously Rotten Writing.
So you have to go, Say What?
Exactly.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had that right. And
it is how it reads, with a question mark exclamation afterwards.
I totally see that. So give us a sense of what it feels like to be at one of these events, because it takes elements of like a script reading, also like a poetry slam, and then just bold-faced mockery of bad writing.
That's a good question. What does it feel like? It feels like hilarity ensues. The vibe is pretty lighthearted. People don't really heckle anyone. People like to repeat, things that have been said. And then one thing I encourage everyone to do is throughout the readings is to exclaim their own, say, "Wah!" Because everyone has their own moments that they find ridiculous. So it's great to sort of see the reactions throughout the crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what is that moment of say what? Like, what is it happening? Is it just because the writing is just so horrendous, or is there more going on there?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. Sometimes, like, the dialogue is ridiculous. Eric Fell brought up a book recently that the plot was, it's set in the year 2012, so the end of the Mayan calendar. There are vampires and men with the souls of dinosaurs.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So the plot itself was
say
just to
what?
say what? Yeah.
Okay. That's okay.
So there's one example.
You know what? I think I have a dinosaur soul. I think that would explain a lot in my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were actually like real dinosaurs trapped in the souls, like some sort of.
Oh, this was literal.
I don't really remember. It was just so bizarre and so crazy. Huh. And it's a trilogy, so hopefully we'll get another book again.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's a big question for you. Why celebrate bad writing? Why?
Well, the whole idea came about when I was in a hostel in Bath, and I found this really terrible romance novel. So I was in the UK, and it was a Harlequin Mills and Boon, so had, British accents, and the dialogue was just so bad, and the whole weekend I shared it with my friends, and we laughed and enjoyed ourselves, and they started sending me more books to read to them, and I think, by appreciating bad books, you really appreciate good books.
Because I'm thinking, what if you're an aspiring writer and you go to this event and you see all these people laughing hysterically at bad writing? You might think, oh no, I don't ever want to do that. Does it help? Does it help to see this?
I think so. I myself am working on my first novel. Yeah. I have a master's in creative writing, so I think I do have the authority to judge what is good and bad. Granted, it kind of is in the eye of the beholder.
Sure.
Steve Burgess recently read a book called Shantaram, which is a bestseller.
Right.
And there were people in the audience that were like, I don't think it's that bad. I enjoyed that book. And I kind of like the idea that it creates controversy.
Controversy, yeah.
I mean, as a writer, it does sort of make you aware that someone may read your work out loud and make fun of it.
Right, right. And
You
I
know,
guess
there is that award for, like, the bad erotica
Uh-huh.
in, you know, fiction.
Right.
So it's like the bad romance-y novel that, you know, very popular writers will be submitted for this terrible award.
And maybe in a way it can be a good kind of release to not be so terrified of bad writing. You know, it's not so bad. You can always just laugh at it, I guess.
Exactly. And sometimes these books, like The Men with the Souls of Dinosaurs, are actually quite popular. There is a market for it.
Yeah.
But there's also a space called Say Well where people can come and laugh at it.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, we're out of time, but thanks so much for giving us some insight into that.
You're very welcome.
Don't miss the Arts Report on CiTR Radio in Vancouver, 101.9 FM. That's Wednesdays at 5 p.m. We're also streaming online at citr.ca every Wednesday at 5. And don't miss our podcast, which you can find, at citr.ca.